Welcome to KSP. This is my modded career series in .90 with the addition of BioMass. I had actually recorded a video in which I illustrated a little bit about BioMass, but then that video turned out being nothing but garbage, so I said forget it, we're going to redo it. Let's get started. I'd like to do two things, but I think I only have time to do one here. The first thing we're going to look at is my Minmus Station here, chilling out in orbit around Minmus, obviously hence the name. It does not have a way to generate food. It can recycle air and recycle water, but food supplies are finite. So what I'd like to do is toss on a BioMass module, dock it to the station, and then they can grow their own food. The other thing I'd really like to do is this. My Surveyor 2 satellite on the last episode was actually able to make this orbit highlighted in purple. However, the game decided to crash and didn't save that progress, and I ran the thing out of Delta V. So when I reloaded the save, it had a little bit of Delta V left in it, but I was unable to make the orbit like I was the first time on the recorded set. So what I decided to do is send a service probe out to it, and we're going to take a look at that now to find out what it is I attempted to do. Now you'll have to pardon the background noise. We are currently experiencing a cold front moving over the Hawaiian Islands, and it's really, really windy outside. Like, we have a high wind warning. It's almost something like you get during a tropical storm or something, but it's just a cold front. So this here, without a connection from remote tech, is my service probe. It consists of a plentiful fuel tank, doesn't need to have a whole lot, but it's supposed to dock here with the Surveyor via the claw, like basically ram itself into it until the claw catches, and then I can transfer fuel over manually, and we're all good. In case that doesn't work, I have some backup little widgets here. I could send a Kerbal out here to link the two satellites together, or something. That was kind of the plan. Unfortunately, for some odd reason, it didn't work. All I managed to do was boff off one of these solar panels, and that's basically it. And this thing is dead on propellant supplies. Still has solar power, still has its own little integral flywheel, so it's not completely worthless, and it does have a long-range antenna, so it does actually have a purpose in life now. It just isn't working the way I wanted to, because I can't get paid for this mission, which is unfortunate. I thought I could just bump this thing in here and then send my Surveyor, or my service probe, to the station and get it replenished or something. Basically have a remote-controlled tug-boat of some kind. But that did not work. All I did was manage to screw up the orbit even more. So I'm not sure what I'll do. I might relaunch the thing entirely. I might have to send a Kerbal and the CTV to go out there to go take care of it. I don't know yet. But what we're going to do now is we're going to make a simple BioMass module to dock with the station. Now when I say simple, I mean basically a crew module. So actually, you know what we're going to do? We're not going to make something from scratch. We're going to modify something that exists. We're going to take the CTV, which I already have one in orbit, around the state, or dock to the station, and we're going to modify the snot out of it. And I think that one won't work. I think the one with the Minmus lander attached to it is the better option, because it has more oomph around it. So what we'll do is I will take that part off, and then we will unbolt all of this. So let's rename this thing. Minmus Bio Module 1. Who's the crew today on this thing? Mundorf, Sid Wise, and Wilbart. Well, I want an engineer to go on the trip, so Halfrod, they'll do. Okay, let's do this. I am going to, honestly, for reals, I'm not kidding this time, I'm going to edit out the trip to Minmus. So you don't have to watch 15-20 minutes of boring Minmus outbound flight. So, but I have to record it with fraps. I just won't do it. Maybe I'm still not awake yet despite having coffee. Alright, shall we go? Let's throttle ourselves up. Let's go to 100% throttle and go. Oh, that was scary. We have to drop down a little bit. KW engines are a little bit finicky and they like not making power 100% right away. It's just kind of a known thing. You got to account for it. Now, something I really didn't check much on when I did this was the delta V capacity, and it looks kind of low, but that's alright. It's because I'm in atmosphere. Alright, center engine's overheating just a little bit. That's alright. We're going a little hot. So I discovered there's no better way to start a debate about anything in KSP than to mention mechanical Jebediah. I have two thoughts about mechanical Jebediah. I think it's a valid tool to learn how maneuvers work, and I think it's kind of cheating. Now, some people would argue that void up here and over here, especially over here with the biome being shown, is a little cheaty also. And they may be right, but it's kind of an opinion thing. The whole thing is more or less opinion. The argument that MechJeb is included in real-life spacecraft all the time is valid. The argument that it's included in real-life spacecraft all the time and we're just a bunch of Luddites for not wanting to use it is not really that valid. There's a difference. There's an attitude difference in how you approach the argument. And so approaching an argument kindly tends to get you better results than saying, well, you're just a bunch of idiots, or I'm the one playing the game right and everyone else was wrong. I used to be of the mindset that MechJeb people were idiots, and that's really not a healthy attitude to have. I have encountered times where flying the same stupid mission over and over again gets really old. Now, there are some other mods that makes it so once you fly a mission once, you can tell your space program to do the exact same mission again, and it does it in background while you're doing something else. I forget the name of it, but I've heard nothing but awesome things about it from the people that I know that have used it. Let's go prograde. User pilot Mundorf. Mundorf, who died. Mundorf, who somehow managed to splatter himself on an EVA trip on Minmus. I found him chilling out in the barracks. I was like, aren't you dead? He's like, yeah, but I got better. Oh, I wasn't worried. This thing's got plenty of delta V. And it's doing a wobbly trick here because Mundorf's not that good at being a pilot. We're going to run that out. And we're going to bonk those off there like that. Just a little bit of a burp to get ourselves clear of spinny death time. So AP is a little high. I like doing less than 80 really. More efficient that way. But hey, this works. That's okay. Alright, so let's show this off now that we're kind of in space. 610 panels. So you see, there's a bunch of greenhouse stuff in here. I'll activate the lights. Alright. This thing is depleting its electricity pretty quick. That's alright. We brought spares. Didn't we? We sure did. This will be the only part of the trip I'm going to show off. One, because I want my MechJeb rant to get out there, and two, because I get to show this off a little bit. The biome module is very hungry for electricity. That's alright. Now you notice it needs carbon dioxide, so one of the things you have to do is tell it, hey, don't put the carbon dioxide in there. Put the carbon dioxide in there. It did not transfer the carbon dioxide. Yeah. Oh, there it is, okay. So now, if we go ahead and look at this thing, food is ticking downwards. Did I mess this up? Don't tell me I messed this up. Oxygen is not ticking down too bad though. It's barely dropping. Well, we'll see when we get the thing over to the station what we have to do to the thing. Anyway, how are we looking for our orbit? Now, because I do have a probe control module on this thing, I can tell it to simply do this. This will make it a little more simpler. This is like MechJeb Lite. And because it's controlled locally by the crew, I don't have to worry about it. There's no lag delay, it says local control. So that's pretty cool, yes? And we'll do this entire thing all manually. So this is almost kind of like MechJeb Lite. So this is why my stance on MechJeb has eased, because of my exposure to remote tech and how it simplifies things a great deal. Because if it didn't simplify things, missions would suck. They really would. This thing's not very good at keeping a heading. It's kind of wobbly. If I disabled engine torque, that might, or engine gimbling, that might be a thing, but no. Alright, so that makes orbit. And when I see you again later, we will be at Minmus. So, sit tight. At this point, I have arrived at Minmus, and I have my orbit more or less aligned with the station. I just need to get my maneuver nodes set up in such a way that I actually get my encounter nailed. So what I'm going to do here is cancel my radial out a little bit there, my rotational velocity, and I'm going to play with RCS thrusters just a little bit. See if I can't get one of these closer. And that seems to be messing it up some. So let's go the other way here. Alright, that's a little bit of magic there. Not super stupendous close, but that's acceptable. So I discovered that this thing really doesn't work as well as I thought it would, which is unfortunate since I just wasted a whole pile of money to do it. So I got the lights on there, the panels are on, I'm getting lots of sun exposure. I'm picking up oxygen. My food status appears to be maintaining itself pretty well. It's stabilized out, I guess. I guess it's in equilibrium now. Because you notice my food and oxygen clocks are not, they don't show anything. Of course neither does water, that doesn't say anything. So yeah, I guess it's stabilized. Oh, it ticked down finally a little bit. Oh, there it is. Alright, I don't understand. I'll see now oxygen's dropping. Funny, funny, funny. Alright, so anyway, I'll come back to you once I get this thing more or less ready to dock, so talk to you all later. Alright, looks like I'm going to get a good docking off of this, but I just need to fix my dock a little bit more. Had to jettison the fuel tank because it was getting pretty preponderous. That's okay. I almost ran out of electric charge actually, which was a little weird. So let's get over there. We got 1 kilometer. We got time. Let's speed this up a little bit. I can actually see the station now. Okay, let's do some of this. Check my monopropellant situation, not a whole lot. See what I might do is just cancel some of that out with engine power instead. Not that much engine power. Alright, so I gotta go that way. Not quite that much that way. that did. Not quite enough. So I really didn't think about putting more RCS on here, but I should have. Alright, what do we got there? That's better. That's looking decent. So let's tell them to go ahead and do retrograde. Respect to target. We'll cancel some of that out once we get there, and we'll do the final maneuver with RCS. Sound like a plan? I think it sounds like an excellent plan. Your target. Your target. Target marker. There we go. Here it is. Edge it that way just a little bit. Okay, we'll flip around again. Okay, at this point I need to focus on the station. I need to slew it around because I want to target that docking port. This will make my job so much easier. Now I can fly the rest of it off RCS power. Quite easily done. Now I'm dealing with physics lag because of the amount of parts I have on the station, but that's okay. Some of these things just can't be helped. Some of my stations tend to get only so big and then no bigger. Because if I don't make them smaller than that, I have problems. Really? I'm bumping into... Oh, I'm right there, that's why. You're in the way. That's really crooked. We can do it. We can do it. Yeah, you can do it. Just tab those isolations out there. And hopefully it will dock. Yeah, this is why I don't work for NASA, folks, because I do silly stuff like this. Oh, perfect. I can turn you back on. Alright, perfect. Wonderbar. And now, we can transfer over all sorts of goodies into this module here, and it'll grow lots and lots of food for us, and it'll be all very, very good. And I replenished the CTV that I had expended trying to capture a dead spacecraft, and the wind outside is really picking up. So, thanks for watching. I'll play around with this stupid module here and see what I can come up with. So when I come back, we will figure out if it was a go or not. And if it didn't work, we're just going to fly that thing into the service of Minmus and watch it crash. So talk to you all later. You have an excellent, excellent day.